What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Panels on Pages. My name is Dalibor, and today we are going to talk about the Superman problem, or as it's become now in modern times, the Wanda problem, the Scarlet Witch problem. This character is so ridiculously overpowered that it's almost impossible to keep them around unless you depower them or reduce them or kill them in some way. Because the real truth is there are a few issues of Batman. Why did I say it like that? Batman. I don't know what happened there. There are a few issues of Batman where he just like puts in the call, and Superman takes care of the problem. And to me, there should be effectively no reason why you shouldn't take a Shazam, Superman, Flash, Supergirl, I'm trying to think of like instant response kind of people, maybe like John Jones, the Martian Manhunter. Take all those people, and everyone else is just doing legwork. They're just finding where the bad guys are and say, hey, or like even Aquaman you could take. And, you know, Batman's like, hey, I found him. He's in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. Aquaman's like, I'm on it. Pacow, done. I mean, like, I feel like this is one of those things that there should always be a handoff. That's why the CW, like the Arrowverse, has these moments where it's like, Star City is about to get literally blown up. Do you think maybe you could call your super fast friend to evacuate the city? Because that sure as hell could be useful. And this problem has now translated into the MCU. We have established that Wanda created life subconsciously. She is the most powerful anyone. Like, it's not even talking about Avengers, anyone. She is more powerful than anyone. She was about to single-handedly wipe out Thanos. Why should anything be a problem when you have a Scarlet Witch on your team? Like, anyone can... the Masters of Evil show up? Hey, Wanda? Yeah, I got you. Whew, no more Masters of Evil. Easy. No fight, no massive millions of billions of dollars of damage at an airport. No. Just taken care of. I mean, it's Wanda... Remember Iron Man 2? And there was that, like, spin move Tony did where he took out the whole fucking attacking army of drones? And he was like, you know, you could have led with that. Wanda is leading with that. Like, Wanda is like, hey, Wanda, you got a minute? We got this dude. He's a little tougher than we're used to. And she's like, all right, cool. Flies in, poof, disintegrates them or depowers them or whatever the fuck else, because she can do that. I'm just saying, this is a problem. And in the Marvel Comics universe, the way we've solved that problem, and this is big spoilers for the current Trial of Magneto storyline and Hellfire Gala, if you're not caught up to X-Men yet, they killed her. Because what was she doing before that? Nothing. She had a little ongoing series for a minute, kind of dealt with her own thing, but ever since she literally wiped out 96% of mutants, she was missing for a long-ass time. When she came back, she was like, I don't know if I deserve to be on the team. And then she hooked up with Jericho Drome, which I'm like, why didn't that go somewhere? Because imagine the, like, ridiculous, like, that child is the next Sorcerer Supreme. Because that child would be innately gifted with just all of the magic. It would just all be there. Plus, like, the mutant abilities, whatever, I'm sure it's going to turn into a mutant thing. By the way, here's my, like, quick prediction for the trial of Magneto. Magneto did kill her for the purpose of bringing her back as a mutant. Because we're trying to set up the MCU to bring mutants in. And we can't have her be a mutant if... We can't have her not be a mutant in the comics. That's my thought. Because what are the things that happened during Trial of Magneto and the Hellfire Gala? He called her his daughter. He said it takes two to tango. You know, we both perpetuated this problem. Like, you're not the one who just did something wrong. I also did some shit wrong. which was weirdly like emotionally growing for Magneto. And then when Pietro, which, can we talk, like, I'm still a little emotional about that moment. Can we talk about when he found out, because you'll remember, Pietro is not a mutant by definition. Krakoan gates don't work for him. When he found out his sister had died, ran across the ocean to punch Magneto in his mouth. Can we just, that was a powerful moment for me. That was a powerful moment for me. Still tearing up about it. Like, that was some deep shit. But when he shows up, gets punched in the mouth, what does Magneto say? Son? Oh, I thought they were pretenders. I thought we were mad at them. I thought they was the pretenders. They're not my children. Uh-huh. I see what's happening here. He's going to be like, well, I've always considered them as children. Whatever magical bullshit Wanda was doing, or whoever the fuck was doing, fooled Cerebro. We're going to bring them back pre... So that would be pre... Is that pre-Axis? No, it's post-Axis. No, it's Axis. Because in Axis is when she found out they weren't his kids. Yeah. So there will be a copy, a backup, a Cerebro backup, pre-Axis. That's kind of a lot. Because pre-Axis means pre-Secret Wars. So she'd be like, who the fuck are all these people that weren't here before? Listen, that brings for some really serious, interesting, like, really interesting storytelling. Nonetheless, it would still make her insanely powerful. How do you deal with that? Well, you gotta kill her. You gotta depower her while she's amnesiac, and then she goes into voluntary seclusion, doesn't even come out to help with the Civil War II. Like, the point is, these people are so ridiculously powerful that there's nothing short of a, like, literal angelic being on Earth is a real fight. There was an issue, it was Asmodal. It was a Justice League first 20 issues of the Justice League JLA series from 1993, I think it started, 96 maybe. That, like, the first 20 issues, there was a story where the angel Asmodal comes down and Superman is literally punching an angel. And to me, that's the only, like, fist fight Superman can get into. Fighting divine, cosmic level beings. Because other than that, Superman is just too goddamn powerful. Because what else can you do with him? Because what does anyone do that is not that level to fight him? They reduce his power somehow. They hit him with kryptonite, see Luthor or Batman. They hit him with magic, see any magical villain or Shazam. They put his family in danger, which makes him like, oh, I can't fuck this dude up because he knows where Lois is, or he knows where my kid is, or whatever the fuck. Like, the power level is so insanely high that they frequently have to send him to fight intergalactic wars, to where he has to face off entire fleets, and he has to solve, like, complex intergalactic diplomatic shit. Because the only way to make Superman stories interesting is to make him think and to make them very, very deeply personal and family related. Because who are his biggest villains that aren't on the same level as him? So that aren't Kryptonian. Parasite is a huge villain, but what does that mean? But what happens every time when he fights Parasite? Parasite takes his powers, and then he's lower powered, Parasite's higher powered, and then it's a fist fight. Like, there is no scenario where you take a Superman or a Wanda and they can just be on a team and me to believe that they have problems. You know what I mean? Like, the Justice League doesn't have actual dangerous threats unless they are super cosmic level, interdimensional threats. If you go back to, like, the 60s when they formed the Justice League, they had, like, mind switching and, like, shit, like, campy shit, right? Campy shit for the time. in modern times, what have they had just in the last, let's say, 5 years? Multiversal incursion, multiversal destruction, near destruction. This shit's pretty heavy. Shit is pretty heavy. And even going back to the Howard Porter, damn, who wrote that run? Howard Porter was the artist, but the JLA run, you had white Martians invading Earth and taking the JLA down, and I think that was the start of the Bat God mythos, because Batman was the only one who could beat them because he knew their secret. It was a good story, but my point is, like, the Bat God thing needs to go. It's kind of annoying. Anyway, you had that. You had angels. You had literal World War III, because a planet that was going to eat the Earth was coming. The whole Mageddon storyline, which was, I would say, one of the most wonderfully crafted long tail things in most comics that I've read. The current X-Men stuff might be the next biggest thing, the next best thing. All of that shit was like, oh, it was like these little things and little things and little things, but in the background it's like Luthor gets a hold of the Chaos Stone or whatever the fuck it was, which took them into like alternate dimensional. Like they had the Black Mercy scenario where Superman's depowered, he's in a dream universe, like shit is different there. My point is, you can't have a team with a Superman on it, with the Wanda, Scarlet Witch on it, and genuinely tell me that they're like, oh, they're gonna go up against some like terrorist group. That's like a 10-second job for Superman. Wanda would just be like, no more guns, no more weapons. Oh no, now they're just dudes. Like there's just like same thing with Flash. Flash is so fast. Who does he always have to be fighting on the CW for us to believe any sort of fucking shit? Ridiculously stronger, like physically stronger, like a King Shark characters. People who can slow him down or fuck up his like balance so that he can't run. Or other speedsters. That's the fucking formula. Why is that the formula? Because otherwise it's boring. It's just Flash running around. I mean, in Kingdom Come, they like perfectly demonstrated this. The Flash of the Kingdom Come, and I think that was technically still supposed to be Barry. No, I think it was Wally, because at this point Barry was dead when they made Kingdom Come. So Wally, whatever, let's say 50 years, 80 years in the future, has just started to just run through the whole city. I think both cities, I think the Twin Cities, just stopping all crime. There's no crime in Central or Keystone City. Just because he could. He's just one with the Speed Force. He can just fucking go do that shit. That's my point that's the whole point here. I don't know how we could solve this. They're just, to me, like, you'd have to retire Superman. You'd have to retire Superman and say that Jonathan, because like Connor has weaknesses. Connor is not the same level of power as Superman. But Jonathan, you'd have to tell me that like he only can jump. He can't fly. Like he would need to have some built-in weaknesses for like Superman to be a viable character. Because Clark is just super powerful. Clark is effectively all powerful. There's just nothing the dude can't do. Speaks like 1 billion languages. He can fucking think at 2 million fucking thoughts a second or whatever. It's so much that he can do that the only way to have an interesting story is that you shoot him with a ray and he loses his powers. One of the most captivating stories of Superman was when he voluntarily decided to just walk across America. That's interesting. That's an interesting story. But at the end of the day, when he had to fight dudes, he still had his full power set. So a lot of it was about learning people and learning culture, not so much big fight scenes. Like you'd have a fight scene at the beginning and it was like a culture thing. You'd have a culture thing and then it was like a fight scene at the end. There was never just like this whole issue is about just like fight, because he wins. Superman wins. That's his whole thing. And that to me is why they have continuously written Scarlet Witch, Wanda, as having some sort of mental issue, some sort of mental health issue, something holding her back from accessing her full power. Because when we see her access her full power, she is a reality ender. Like she is such a super powerful character that there's just no way to combat her. I mean, if you look at Disassembled, Doctor Strange shows up and he's like, I'm the Sorcerer Supreme, master of the mystic arts. I tell you right now, there's no such thing as fucking chaos magic. And recently they've said, the god Chthon, like there is chaos magic. He was the god of chaos, blah, blah, blah. But my thing is, who's to say Wanda didn't retcon that in? She needed validation for her ridiculous level of power and was just like, there was a chaos god and like imbued me with his essence when I was born. And you know what's really strange about that thought that I just had? It's plausible. It's perfectly plausible because her power level is so fucking ridiculous. She is, I would say, from a mystic sense, she is Franklin Richards powerful. Because guess what Franklin Richards also did up until recently? Convinced the world that he was a mutant. I'm talking scientific equipment, Cerebro, Krakoan Gates, up until he found that he wasn't. He convinced the world that he belonged somewhere, probably out of fear for losing his family. Just on accident. If you look at Wanda in the MCU, she invented a whole reality and maintained a reality within a town on a whim. Invented babies, real babies with souls, subconsciously. I mean, hell, in the Marvel Universe proper, she created a reality where mutants were heralded as heroes across the entire world. They're too powerful. There are other characters. I'm not even talking about just these 2-3 characters that I've mentioned. There are other characters that are like this, but that's the thing, is you always, when you create a character that is so ridiculously powerful, there has to be checks and balances, and that's why their villains always know their weakness. Somebody has like access to a stockpile of the one thing that like hurts them. It just always comes up that way. The only way I know how to fix this is by writing different characters, creating characters that have weaknesses, creating real complete characters that just have more than just ridiculously powerful, can bend fucking all the metals at once. There's something to be said for like super high power characters, but you have to have something built in to bring them down to earth and make them relatable and make them more than just like, oh, this character is ridiculously powerful. Actually, you can look at Invincible as a great example of this. His dad came to Earth and was just like, I am the motherfucker. I am the most powerful motherfucker around. I will always be the most powerful motherfucker around. His kid has the same power set, but like, he's a teenager. What are his weaknesses? Fucking emotions, hormones. Like, there are things within that. That's why I'm a little concerned about what they're doing with Jonathan in the DC universe right now, is because they're like grooming him, which is like a weird thing to say, but he's 17 last I checked. They're building him, let's say. Jeez. They're building him to be the next Superman, because Clark said, oh, I'm going to have to go away for a while, blah, 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 bullshit. But like, it's so hard to tell what is actually happening, because they're like, it's all canon now. All of it's canon. Whatever happens, it's all canon. It's just maybe happening in a different universe. It was the laziest possible solution to all the bullshit, and they're doing the same thing in their movie universe, I just realized. It is the laziest possible answer. Oh, we're going to make another Batman movie. We're not going to make it with Ben Affleck. And I mean, it's a different universe. Or Joker movie? Nah, a different universe. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they are just taking the laziest possible out for how they create stories. Wow. That just like coalesced in my brain. Glad you were here for it. Anyway, if you have any thoughts on how to solve the Scarlet Witch / Superman problem? I would love to know. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a comment down below. If you are listening, check out YouTube, Panels on Pages. The link is in the show notes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.